Thank you so much for connecting. My name is Ivan and Malika. We are here as hosts of our collective calls that we hold on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's Thursday, and I'm happy to present to you two amazing projects to pitch here today. And then we have Q&A, so you know the drill. So let me introduce the projects themselves. So first of all, we got Daniel, CEO of Synternet project, and another one, Nicholas. Yeah, there was a substitute. So Nicholas is from Cryptecon project. So guys, hopefully you're doing all right, doing great. Thank you so much for connecting. I guess that's it. Malika, if I haven't missed anything, let's start with our first project then, with Daniel and Synternet. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having us here. My name's Daniel. I'm the CEO of Synternet. We're an agent aggregator, and that I know people have been hearing a lot about agents and what they do. Our job is kind of to make life simple, starting with crypto. Synternet is a platform and a protocol for agent-to-agent commerce, and Satoshi is the flagship agent. It's personalized and individualized to you, and is connected to everything, and also available as a service. So why is this important? Why now? At the moment, I think Citibank said $3.7 trillion will be in real-world assets by 2030. That's 5 years away. 300,000 new tokens coming out every month. Most of these transactions, most of these things that are going to be happening with agents. But an agent that has access to your Bitcoin, that's still a couple steps away. What does it need? You need spoof-proof truth. What's happening in the world, right? What's the Bitcoin price? What's going on cross-chain? Which of these assets are safe? You need to be able to have agents that have access to instant information when their language models tap out. And it needs to be personalized on you to an extent that you trust it fully, and not just with your wallet information, your wealth information, your other things. And if you have that, and this is what Synternet protocol provides, then you realize that agents, and the reason that we have so much movement around agents is because they really do have the power to change the world. And we're not just talking in crypto, we're talking in general in technology, and it's an incredibly exciting place, right? So Synternet as a platform is a permissionless, ultra-low latency data layer that allows agents to exchange information that they need to check state. It's a fully validated layer 1 in Cosmos. It has micropayment functionality, omni-chain operations, but it also has a wonderful showcase agent, which I'll get into in a bit. So where is this going to matter? Well, soon you're going to have agents that are going to trade for you, not just hold your Bitcoin, but trade. Why? Because they're going to prove that they can do it. Institutions are going to have agents instead of their regular interfaces, and a lot of protocols are already having it. Now, when agents talk to each other or talk to you, that's one form of communications, but you're going to have agents talking to agent managers and other agent managers. And ours sits on top of that. He's an agent aggregator. He's your concierge of crypto. He guards your wallet. He checks out for things, and he watches out for you. You can use him as a pay-per-use. 1 credit equals some tokens, but you can also use him as a service. And we're working with several foundations where the agent actually works to bring in new ecosystem, thousands of new users, millions in new transactions, and hundreds of millions in TVL locked up. You can augment your agent with a wonderful store where agents can bolt on to your specific requirements, right? This is based on the U index. So this is a little bit of what we do, and the reason, where it's built off and I can just show you what that looks like in real life with a short presentation. So this is our agent working for a customer of ours. So what is being asked for right now is not stuff that you can Google. It's not stuff that you can ask ChatGPT for, because it's too specific, right? This is stuff that you can get from on-chain data. And this is where Satoshi is excellent, right? And we focus on DeFi, especially cross-chain DeFi in the wrapped asset space, where we monitor most of the wrapped asset chains already and provide insights, including emergency exits and unpegging notifications for some of the most popular assets and bridges in DeFi. And here he asked a very interesting questions. He's like, "Do you want me to prepare that transaction for you?" And of course, you can see that this is very close. Like, this is one one step away from being in a position where the agent can actually execute on what you're looking for. So how did we get all this information? This is publicly available. Oh, is that my 5-minute mark? This is publicly available on our site. You can look here. We have tons of wrapped assets, wrapped Bitcoin. We monitor every single transaction on all these chains, and it's supported by a huge data layer that's also there and free for use. The whole economy works with tokens. You get paid in tokens, you pay in tokens, and you can create agents from our agent marketplace. And as soon as you interact, you can start streaming all of the data that your agents need to function and operate. So that's Satoshi and Synternet. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Yeah, absolutely, Daniel. Thank you so much for your pitch. Now we move to Q&A. I already received some questions. Let me go through them real quick. So first, I'm curious what sparked the idea for Synternet's data layer, and how does it really set you apart from other blockchain solutions?
We started off actually in Synternet, wondering how to get data across the internet faster. So the company has about 17 patents in routing protocols in order to speed up the latency for getting information on chain to where it's needed. That gets important for stuff like MEV kind of analysis and other sort of sniping opportunities. The chain started moving faster and faster. You needed to have sort of low latency to get the data out. And what we realized quickly is that there's a wealth of information in that space. And it's not just getting the data fast, but it's able to identify the trends and the movements in the data. That's the really valuable part. And so we quickly realized, though, that it's an awful lot of data to monitor at the same time. So we put it, one of our engineers said, let's put this in the hands of an agent and let the agent monitor the monitors. And that was the birth of Satoshi and the start of our Agentic framework.
Great. Thanks for taking care of the first question. We got another one. With so many blockchains out there, how do you see Synternet scaling in a world that's becoming more cross-chain and interconnected?
Great question. So we already monitor 19 chains. We have real-time agents that can work on all those chains. And that's just in the DeFi space. We actually see that blockchain offers value for agentic commerce even outside of crypto. So in DeFi, it has value in gaming, it has value in DeFi AI. Outside, though, for agents to operate and to really be the way that you interface with technology in the future, you still need a lot of the things that blockchain can provide. You need micropayments, you need spoof-proof data sourcing, and you need the ability, to itemize on you and keep stuff private, right? Well, we call that ZK layers, right? So blockchain has a lot to offer. So if you think of I want to check my oncology, I have a bump on my arm, I want to check it against all the oncology records in the world, right? That's an agent doing you service. Now, you would only do that if you trust the agent implicitly. And that's the kind of security that blockchain can. Now, when he goes out and he checks that data, he needs micropayments to interact and get you the right response. And so actually, this is one of the places where we see blockchain breaking into sort of the real world of agent commerce and AI. And that's a very, very new space. But within AI, I think that, one of the places that it's really needed is to just simplify, make life simple again. And what's the biggest pain, the biggest friction in blockchain is these wallets, the keys and everything associated with it. Keeps so many people from adopting crypto and understanding it. That's what we want to abstract. And we think the agents, we're just going to be, hey, Siri, make that happen for me. Just do it, give me 5 coins I'm interested in, do this for me, do that for me. That's how we should be interacting with agents. And that's how we hope to, make it happen.
Right on. Thanks. We got another one for Peter. Hi, Daniel. Are you raising funds? If so, what are the round dynamics? Any lead VCs?
Yeah, we're at the moment in the middle of a Series A raise. We're about halfway through. We're raising 15 million on a 50 million pre-money valuation, 65 post. I can share details with anyone who wants to get in contact with us. We're a fully licensed and registered VASP in Gibraltar. And that's where the equity and the patents and all the IP sit. So yeah, we'd love to get anybody who's interested in that. We can have a more detailed discussion. And also, where the token is live and trading, all the technology you see is out there and ready and fully permissionless. We're trading on Gate, Huobi, MEXC, Bitpanda, and several others. And we're about to do a really great push into Asia with an agentic game around Bitcoin predictions. So watch this space the next couple of weeks. We've got a lot of great news coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel, I also have a question. Could you please tell us about the team and your future plans?
Yeah, I'd love to. So I'm Swiss. I live in Switzerland. Most of our team is in Vilnius, in Lithuania. They've been together. We still have 98% of our core developer team that's been with us from the very start. Our future plans right now, our agent can do a lot of traffic. Our future plans are to allow in wallet access and trade operations. That's going to be extremely interesting. And then from there, I think that the way that people are going to be interacting with technology. When's the last time you had a really good banking experience with your online banking account? Was it fun? Do you remember it? Would you go back? Would you hang out there like you do on Robinhood? No, you don't, right? Why? Because it's broken, but it'll take $1 billion just to fix that. And I think that agents, right, they're not just good for crypto and getting people into crypto, but they're great for a lot of things like your insurance policies, your banking interface, your wealth management. And we think this is how, like, let's say teenagers and emerging wealth in the future are going to start with agents as opposed to going into your local bank branch and opening an account. And that's a very exciting space to be. So that's abstraction of a whole way of we doing technology, right? So like how we interface in technology might not be keyboards and text messages so much anymore. And we think that's going to change the world, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, gotcha. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you so much, Daniel, for the pitch. And our next speaker is Nicholas, co-founder at Cryptecon. Hi, Nicholas.
Hi. Thank you for having me. Small correction. I'm not actually a co-founder. I'm a part of the team at Cryptecon and filling in for our founder and director, Matthias, today.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Okay, thanks for correcting me. And what is your position?
My position is I'm an economist at the Center for Cryptoeconomics.
Okay.
I've been part of the team for the past 3 years.
Awesome. Okay, thanks. And feel free to start whenever you are ready.
Again, thanks for having me. I'm here today to introduce the Center for Cryptoeconomics. We're in essence a research and consulting platform based in Switzerland. So not necessarily a cutting-edge technology provider like Synternet, but potentially still able to provide value for some members of the blockchain network. A bit on our background, our work is backed by Swiss Economics. Swiss Economics is an independent economics consultancy founded back in 2008. Swiss Economics itself is not primarily focused on blockchain technology, but quite strong in the area of regulation, competition, and economic policy. And the Center for Cryptoeconomics, so Cryptecon, we built on this foundation and focus specifically on the economics of blockchains, so conducting research, economic research in the area of blockchain, and also consulting various types of clients on this topic. We were founded back in 2013, so quite a while ago. So I think we can say that we have quite, over the years, have established quite a bit of experience in the field, especially in the blockchain area. So again, at the most basic level, we try to bridge the gap between cutting-edge economic research and the fast-evolving world of blockchain and digital assets. And in doing so, we advise large enterprises, we advise startups, and we also every once in a while have projects with government agencies, primarily European government agencies. And what do we do? On one hand, we help design and audit the mechanism designs or the tokenomics of blockchain projects, whether they're at the beginning, so whether it's auditing a white paper or developing iterations of an already existing project or platform. We also support investors, so we support in valuation and other kinds of activities in this direction. And as I already mentioned, we advise governments and corporations, so we do projects so basically topics that interest governments in the area of blockchain regulation. For example, how the regulator for the IP property rights in Switzerland needs to think about blockchain technology in the future. And our toolkit basically, so our background, our team is focused on or has a strong background in game theory and mechanism design. We also have background in financial modeling and agent-based simulations. But basically, in essence, we're all economists with varying flavors and backgrounds. Just to give you a brief overview of the projects we've conducted in the past. So as I said, on the one hand, we support tokenomics projects directly, so startups and more established projects in the area of tokenomics. We do audits, like white paper audits, or we design like mechanisms in terms of ecosystem design. And then we also provide investment support for various VCs. So currently we're working together with Cyberfund, for example. And here we analyze different questions they have around valuations. In the past, we've also done work together with VCs to monitor or to like support the startups they're supporting with our economic know-how. And as I said, we've done several research projects in the past for governments, so we kind of know what kind of the regulator potentially is thinking about in terms of blockchain. Maybe in the interest of time, I'll mention this as well. So our network is, I think, quite well established over the years. So specifically, we're quite well connected with the University of Zurich Blockchain Center, which is a leading blockchain research program in Europe. I think this is also something that kind of sets us apart, that we have a kind of an extensive research network and that we can leverage also to help our clients. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nicholas, for the pitch. It was very interesting. And we already have some questions. First goes like this. You combine economic theory with real world blockchain applications. What's the most surprising insight you've uncovered through this mix? Also, tell us about your revenue model.
Yeah. So maybe I can start with the revenue model. So we kind of have a mix. So depending on the client and the project. So on the one hand, we participate in research grants from various communities. So that's one aspect. And then in terms of like clients, the government government agencies being a client, usually then we just have a kind of a project-based like payment schedule. And then when we support startups or kind of blockchain projects, then we tend to be kind of flexible, and we try to kind of include kind of some kind of token remuneration schedule, things in this direction. But essentially, our revenue model is akin to a consulting firm.
Yeah, got you. Thanks. And the second part of the question?
Yeah, I think in general, having this economics background, I think what's surprising to me is how much, like for example, in the context of designing a token or designing a token economic system, how much this is akin to basically replicating a traditional economic system in the context of a community. So kind of in this framing, as an economist, it's quite surprising that you kind of find again many of the topics that traditional economics has covered for years, and you kind of condense it down, these various aspects of economic theory into one application, that being kind of designing a token economy within a digital ecosystem. I think in general that's quite interesting part of our work.
Thanks. Interesting. Another question is also interesting. When advising Web3 projects on tokenomics, what's one mistake you see founders make that can be easily avoided?
I think in general, one thing we typically try to advise is to try to keep things as simple as possible. So when designing like mechanisms or tokenomics, it's easy for projects to think about or get excited about innovative mechanisms or additional features that their platform or their their tokenomics could incorporate. But I think we always try to caution too much complexity and try to really focus or try to really work out what the added value is that the project is providing, and design the ecosystem or the mechanisms around this, and basically trying to keep things as simple as possible and as streamlined as possible towards what makes the project valuable.
Thanks for such a valuable advice. Another one goes like this: do you have a venture team, or only or do you provide investment support for Web3 startups?
Not directly, so we don't have a venture team. We of course have a network, especially here in Switzerland. We know quite a few, or we know the ecosystem well, so we can make introductions, things in this direction. But in terms of having our own venture team, we don't.
Okay, got you. Thanks. Have you heard the previous speaker? What do you think about the project? Maybe you have something to say.
I think it's quite interesting. I think I would be very excited, or as well, together with our founder Matthias, to get in touch and maybe have a talk about
exactly.
Especially since I heard you're also based in Switzerland.
Yeah. 2 Swiss cryptos on the call.
This is cool. We're in Zurich.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think this is the first time we have such, interesting operation, maybe.
Coincidence.
That's a good one.
This was not on purpose, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so we have no more questions. I think we can wrap this up. So yeah, thank you so much, Nicholas, for the pitch and for the Q&A. I think you both guys just crushed all the Q&A and answered all the questions, super great. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for being here on this call. Thank you everyone for the session, and see you next time. Have a great weekend.